Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Did you know that if you set your goals ridiculously high and it's a failure, you will fail above everyone else's success? Come, we have another stimulating show, starting with the news.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, August 28, 2023. The long-awaited 50 new buses for the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, could be out on the road within a week after arriving on the island last Wednesday. The buses include 5 45-seater electric buses and 40 compressed natural gas CNG buses with a seating capacity of 45. There are also 5 CNG buses with a capacity of 34, specially designed to facilitate disabled passengers.
Finally, the buses are here after much delay. The buses are approximately 2 months delayed from the original estimated time of arrival. That's due to the way in which the buses were shipped. The delay was caused because it had other stops, because it had other cargo. So lessons learned, that any buses being ordered by the government of Jamaica in the future will be specified in terms of the shipping terms, because the buses would have been here long ago. But thank God the buses are here.
The acquisition of the new units means the JUTC is now ready to increase its daily rollout capacity to 315 buses just in time for the new academic year. Included in that total number are 125 units that were repaired under the company's Emergency Procurement of Spare Parts initiative.
What this will allow us to do is get the new buses in and take some of the older buses out to repair them. We've been doing it because we didn't know when these buses would come, so that's huge.
The Ministry of Local Government and Community Development has allocated $20 million in back-to-school assistance for students registered under the Poor Relief Department. Portfolio Minister Desmond McKenzie says there was a pressing need for increased assistance following discussions with the Board of Supervision. The Board of Supervision is a statutory body responsible for supervising and monitoring the delivery of poor relief services through municipal corporations. The minister says the government is determined to continue providing a robust educational program within the poor relief framework.
Because let me say this, to come out of poverty is not looks take you out of poverty. It's education. And even if you have the money and you can't manage it, the Bible tells you that the fool and his money will part. So we believe that for the poor to survive, for those who are on the poor relief support, education is the key to their success.
Minister McKenzie was speaking at the recent official opening of the Ocherias Night Shelter in St. Anne. During that function, he also disclosed that more than $150 million had been allocated to counselors for back-to-school support. Flights from Toronto, Canada to Montego Bay, Jamaica will increase beginning this fall as Canada Jetlines announces an expansion of its winter flight schedule. Starting November 5 this year, the Canadian airline is offering weekend flights connecting the two cities via its 174-seat Airbus A320 aircraft. From January 2024, service will increase to 3 flights per week, providing travelers ample opportunity to visit and explore Montego Bay and other areas of Jamaica. Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett has welcomed the move, which he says highlights Canadians' growing confidence in Jamaica's tourism offerings and their ongoing enthusiasm for the destination. Director of Tourism Donovan White adds that these enhancements serve to further ensure a hassle-free experience for visitors to the island. The announcement arrives on the heels of the implementation of Jamaica's new digital customs and immigration form beginning this September. This is also expected to ensure a smooth and seamless arrival experience into both the Sangster International Airport and Norman Manley International Airport. Members of the Broadleaf community and surrounding areas in Manchester can once again access quality healthcare devoid of cost and difficulty thanks to the reopening of the Community Health Centre. The health center had been closed since July 2021 due to inadequate maintenance of the facility. It was renovated with funding in the amount of approximately $11 million provided by the Jamaica Bauxite Institute under the Bauxite and Community Development Program.
Through the JBI and our Bauxite Community Development Program, we have expanded the waiting area. We have constructed additional rooms to accommodate staff. We have renovated the room that they use as their storage area. We have created parking area. We've repaired the restroom and the fixtures. And we looked at, unfortunately, what was termite infestation, and we treated with that. And overall, we also did painting and a facelift.
The mining minister says government is cognizant of the importance of reinvesting earnings from bauxite into communities that have been impacted by its operations.
So the Prime Minister has says to me as Minister of Government that we must look at the needs of the communities, work with the members of Parliament, and accelerate our interventions in the communities. Look at their critical needs and use bauxite resources and make those needs better.
And finally, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security has provided assistance to a family in the community of Dampy, Clarendon, following the loss of their home and belongings to a fire on Saturday, August 19. Minister Pernell Charles Jr. and a team of social workers from the ministry's Maypen office delivered groceries, mattresses, blankets, a gas stove, and cleaning supplies as part of the ministry's emergency response. Ms. Lola Edwards, head of the household, shared her appreciation for the items and expressed the hope that the next time the minister visits, it will be under better circumstances. The ministry's team has invited the family to visit the parish office for further assistance as soon as they are in receipt of the official report from the Jamaica Fire Brigade. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
It's almost time to go back to school. For those intending to start tertiary institutions, the Student Loan Bureau might just be an option for you to afford higher education.
We are celebrating the fact that the Students' Loan Bureau, and by extension the government of Jamaica, is increasing the grants in aid benefits for low-income households, PATH beneficiaries, and wards of the state.
The grants in aid has honestly been a driving force in my personal and intellectual development.
The Student Loan Bureau is not just facilitating higher education, we are bridging the gap between dreams and reality.
We are here today to announce the fact, to make sure that all Jamaicans know that we are increasing the grant in aid program year over year by 68%.
A grant in aid is a non-repayable monetary provision afforded to students of low-income household, wards of the state, and PATH beneficiaries. This benefit becomes accessible once you apply for a targeted loan, and that's the loan when you don't pay until you graduate.
Just last year, we had 3,000 grants at $50,000 each. This year, we'll have 4,200 grants at $60,000 each.
This means we have allocated in this year's budget $252 million for 4,002 qualifying applicants. The purpose is to provide financially challenged students with supplementary assistance for other school-related expenses such as books, tuition, transportation, food, etc.
It's only Student Loan Bureau that you can come to and get that kind of grant in that kind of scale for your education. So this is an incentive for Jamaicans interested in tertiary education to seek out the Student Loan Bureau.
So how do you apply for granted aid? You can log on to our website and apply for a targeted loan. The grant is provided once the loan is approved and the applicant's eligibility is verified, and after disbursement funds or tuition to the institution.
You will automatically, if you are from a household where the income levels are $1.5 million or less, and we're inviting all Jamaican students who qualify to come and get your grant. We are interested in increasing tertiary enrollment in Jamaica. The only way our society is going to grow and develop is if the productivity of our country improves.
These are offerings that will continue to drive economic growth and competitiveness in the Jamaican economy by ensuring a highly skilled and adaptable workforce.
Aside from the monetary value, the SLB grant in aid has served as a testimonial to my hard work, devotion, and promise. It has inspired me and it has enhanced confidence in me, emphasizing that my efforts have not gone unappreciated.
We are building bridges and transforming dreams.
This is a revitalized, re-energized, reinvigorated Student Loan Bureau that's modernizing to meet the needs of Jamaica today.
So I'm a beneficiary of the SLB grant in aid, and I just really have to say that it came at a moment that it was really needed. I was able to cover my school expenses, and to make it even better, while I was volunteering at the Bustamante Hospital for Children, I was able to cover my expenses there.
Commendations to the Government of Jamaica and the Ministry of Finance through the leadership of the Minister of Finance, who continues to drive and develop policies geared towards improving access, equity, and educational opportunities for Jamaicans.
Jamaica is moving forward. Jamaica is serious about education and serious about tertiary education as we go forward with determination to achieve the growth and development potential that we know we all have.
The summer holiday for children is their time to rest and have fun. But as parents and guardians, it is our duty to ensure they don't lose sight of the knowledge learned in school. Here are some tips to help keep your little ones entertained while at home. Spend time cooking together. Cooking is a lifelong skill. It doesn't hurt teaching your child how to find their way around the kitchen and prepare simple yet filling meals. But remember, safety first. Have your child read for at least 30 minutes a day. Yes, reading is fundamental, and the earlier they start, the better. But not just any books. Ensure they have educational content or provide life lessons. Engage in meaningful vocabulary-building conversations. While you engage in daily conversations, introduce them to new words. Give them context clues and use these words in sentences. Let this be a fun and learning experience for you both. Try out safe at-home science or art projects. Children are naturally curious, so imagine how fun carrying out science experiments would be for them. Likewise, art projects. Expose them to outdoor activities. Let's bring back the days where we explored the great outdoors and connected with nature. Let's balance fun and learning this summer by following these tips on how to beat the summer slide.
It's something you can't do without. We all need food to survive. But while it's vital to our existence, you need to know what's in your food to make the right choices.
Part of maintaining good health is knowing our nutritional requirements and what is in the foods we consume. When we know, we are able to make better choices about what we eat and empowered to avoid non-communicable diseases (NCDs) such as diabetes, hypertension, cancers, and cardiovascular diseases like stroke and heart disease. In recognition of this, the government encourages consumers to look carefully on the ingredients and nutrition facts labels on foods.
NCDs is a national crisis, and what and how we eat is a contributory factor to developing or worsening. Our message, healthy eating, active living, read it before you eat it, places emphasis on educating and empowering people about the choices made for food consumption. In keeping with our vision for a healthy Jamaica, our goal is to equip Jamaicans to read food labels in order to make healthier food choices.
The fact that more than 70% of deaths in Jamaica are linked to NCD conditions, which are increasing, is enough reason for all of us to eat healthy foods, exercise regularly, and get adequate rest. Like sweet music to the soul, the healthy living message must resonate, and the Ministry of Health is chiming through the airwaves with its public awareness campaign.
You for zoom in on the nutrition facts. It in the table on the side or the back. Vitamins, minerals, and vitamin 20% and more that good for you. You for zoom in, check the nutrition facts. You for zoom in, check the nutrition facts. You for zoom in, check the nutrition facts. Less sugar, less salt intake, and less fat.
It is our collective responsibility to take stock of the health impact of excesses in sugars, salts, and fats, and take steps to reduce consumption.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness, through the Nutrition Facts Panel media campaign, is fast-tracking its response to the scourge of non-communicable diseases (NCD) by getting more Jamaicans to zoom in on what's in their food. The campaign is a collaborative effort of the Ministry of Health, the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, National Health Fund, and the Jamaica Association of Professionals in Nutrition and Dietetics.
I think this is a great start, and it supports the other things that we're doing, like school nutrition policy, the physical activity program, the elimination of trans fats, and so on. We have to see it all related and linked and make the push to get it working.
Preliminary findings of a recent baseline evaluation survey for Nutrition Facts Panel Education campaign show that while 70% of Jamaicans have a general awareness of Nutrition Facts Panel and 69% express a positive attitude towards them, only 30% are able to accurately interpret and apply the information on them. Ingredients on food labels are listed from the greatest to the least amount of nutrients. Pay attention to things like fats, sodium, and sugar, of which you are to consume a percentage daily value of 5% or less. Keep these in mind as well. The general daily limit of added sugars is 6 teaspoons or 24 grams for women and children, while for men it's 9 teaspoons or 36 grams. Your fat intake should be 6 teaspoons or 30 grams, including 13 grams for saturated fat. The general daily limit for sodium is less than 1 teaspoon or 20 grams. It's also recommended that we reduce consumption of foods that have a percentage daily value greater than 20%. Choose foods that are high in dietary fiber, minerals such as iron, calcium, magnesium, and potassium, and vitamins. Go for products with percentage daily values greater than 20% for these nutrients.
It is important that Jamaicans learn to read and interpret the Nutrition Facts Panel with its information on serving sizes, calories, nutrients, and percent daily value for the individual intake. This will empower people to choose foods that allow them to maintain energy and the appropriate nutrient requirements, particularly sugars, salts, and fats.
So, next time you go shopping, remember to read it before you eat it. And don't just read it, do so and make the best nutrition choice for your good health.
most destructive thing in any economy is inflation. There's one more variable that is more destructive, and that is called lack of confidence. But usually the two things are related inversely. When confidence starts to decline in an economy, you usually start to see some inflationary impact. If inflation starts to increase, you usually start to see some fall off in confidence. Immediately following the pandemic, we saw a rapid increase in prices. This had nothing to do with the government of Jamaica. Despite our best efforts, prices rose. And they rose as a result of supply chain shocks, specifically due to the pandemic. But they also rose because of geopolitics, specifically the war in the Ukraine. That had nothing to do with the government of Jamaica. And in fact, all countries around the world face this. However, coming from a high of almost 12%, our inflation is down to approximately 6.2%. That is not as a result of any change in global circumstances. To a large extent, the war in the Ukraine still exists. The grain deal has fallen apart, which is going to obviously have some ripple effects. Well, it has certainly started for the UK. But if you compare Jamaica's inflation with, say, inflation in the United Kingdom or other countries in Europe, Jamaica has done very well. But how do the people in Jamaica feel? And I think that is the ultimate question. How do people feel? The truth is that inflation has a lagging impact on people's outlook, because it takes some time for wages to catch up, to put you back in a position where your consumption that you were used to is restored. The government understands this very well. It feeds into, easily supports a narrative that nothing is happening and everything is going wrong, when clearly the economic metrics are going in the right direction. But psychologically, because of the impact of inflation, people's mood may not reflect that. Governments have to be, in this era, governments have to be smart. Governments have to be agile and responsive as well.
Jamaica's creative and cultural industries CCIs are being mobilized for an economic transformation. For many years, the country has generated global acclaim through its various CCIs, making them among the most significant industries. But their full social and economic potential have not been tapped into to spur the significant growth and development that is possible.
We believe that is a set of industries that are actually transformational in terms of moving Jamaica forward economically and sustainably. The creative and cultural industries are founded on things that Jamaicans do well. So we have a natural competitive advantage in the creative and cultural industries. As a matter of fact, when you think about brand Jamaica and what defines brand Jamaica, certainly externally, is really it's really founded in the creative and cultural industries. The cultural and creative industries are a group of industries that whose core, whose raw material is founded on intangibles, products of the mind. Visual arts, theatre, dance and performing arts, design, music, gifts and crafts, advertising and marketing, media, festivals, fairs, and film, cultural heritage, television, broadcast, digital media, fashion, culinary, museums, galleries, and libraries.
Increased attention is now being given to these industries to better exploit their economic and social development potential. This includes a full mapping of such industries, with the support of the British Council in 2019 and 2020, and a situational analysis to pave the way forward.
One of the critical things that came out of that mapping was, of course, that vexed issue of data and the collection of data, the mining of the data, the analysis of the data, and the utilization of the data that is specific to the creative industries. Like, for instance, what is the specific value of the creative and cultural industries? How many persons are employed specifically in the creative and cultural industries, and what is the value of their contribution to the GDP?
The UNESCO-funded Mapping Jamaica's Cultural and Creative Industries project estimates the contribution of Jamaica's CCI to be 5.2% of the country's GDP. The report from that mapping also indicates 2.2 billion Jamaican dollars, or about $14 million in revenue, being generated annually by CCIs, which are estimated to account for 3% of total employment.
We have not monetized sufficiently the creative industries to be the rich superpower that they can make us, that they can create for us in Jamaica.
The Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC, in partnership with the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, further embarked on a national project to validate the country's CCIs.
That will give us a specific value of the industry. What's the contribution to GDP? What's the contribution to employment in particular? It will also give us some sub-data as well, like the value and importance of some of this to some social development as well. And it also will give us specific recommendations for the sector.
For it to continue, we need to sensitize person what information do we need to keep going forward with this. When you're asked for the information, please provide the information at a detailed level, because in order to derive the value added, it's not just the sales or what income they're generating. We have to take from that cost. So we would love to get the information.
The expectation is that Statin will consistently collect data to allow for ongoing understanding of the value and contribution of these industries.
Mapping the return on investment, allowing government really to strategically and in a structured way decide on how it is that you're going to invest in both the demand side and the supply side of the chain of the creative and cultural industries, so that we can now plot real development and measurable development path for the cultural and creative industries. We believe that there's huge potential for wealth creation, for employment from the creative industry sectors that is just untapped presently. That's round one. We also believe that there is investment that is waiting to happen in the sector, as long as we can get a sense, investors, they want a sense of exactly what they're investing in and what the potential returns on those investments are.
Thank you for being with us today on Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow for another interesting journey. Of course, you can visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for more news you can use. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.